Are you okay?
I love you.
Are you okay? Hi, everyone.
Please. Hi. I'm just, making sure my microphone's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I thought it was funny because it was just too adorable watching Lauren being like, I'm sorry, my microphone. I'm like, we're going live.
Please, microphone, don't be mad at me. No. Anyway,
yes. Hi. Hello, everyone. It is Friday, and that means it is time for another round of Paint and Slay. And for those of you who have been hanging out with us the past couple weeks, you know that we have been working on the Hellwasp from WizKids, D&D Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures line. This beauty is going to be definitely a 3-episode run, and what we're going to be doing in episode 3 today is finishing up the Hellwasp, which means we're going to finish up the body, address the base, take care of the wings, because yes, there's just a little bit more left to the wings, and then we're going to take care of this little persnickety thing where we ended up getting some paint on these little flying posts, as I like to call them. And that's okay because we're going to show you a way to get that off. And then we will put the wings onto the body. So you're kind of getting the wrapping up and full assembly of this particular mini. And again, this is a large creature. So if you want a sense of scale, here is a medium humanoid. So, scale. It's fun, yo.
Yeah.
Just to give you a sense of how big these actually are. It's not like a little bug that's going to land on your hand. This is something, if you hear it coming, run. Let's just put it that way. But before we get into our attack on this monster, what do we have going on, Lauren?
A couple of things. First off, we may need to update the overlay because it looks like we have last time.
Okay, you do that.
I'm gonna talk. Yeah,
you do
I'm gonna talk while you fix that.
I will fix. Actually, did I forget to download that?
Well, you know what? I trust you to be able to
do this.
Yeah.
So Lauren's gonna vamp while I do some behind the scenes production magic.
Yeah. So, it's less about vamping and more about talking about fuzzy owlbears. So first off, owlbear Orkira has been out there for a little while now, and then this weekend, last week, owlbear Orkira got joined by all the rest of the crew from Idle Champions Presents Court of the Raven Queen, where now you can get to the entire crew in owlbear form: Desmond, Tatiana, Baloth, Shaka, and Havilar. Or Frida, sorry. Havilar gets to be a kobold. And those are adorable. And my only regret is that because Desmond and Baloth are in the same bench slot, that you can't have all of us in one place at the same time as fuzzy owlbears because we're huge. We're massive. It's amazing. So definitely go check that out. And it's probably live right now. And if it isn't, it will be in like a minute or two. But if you happen to watch Black Dice Society last night, you would have seen that the announcement that has come, which is the next character from Black Dice Society is coming to Idle Champions, Nahara. Yay!
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Look at the wings.
Oh, the wings. God, they're beautiful.
So the spotlight should be live now.
Yeah, now.
If not soon. Now. Sometimes when the website says I'm going to publish a thing, it takes a moment or two to update. So the Champion Spotlight should be up with all of the gorgeous art, and you can go ahead and enjoy reading about Nahara because she comes out next week during next week's awesome event. And then also because We unfortunately didn't have a Griddle Champions because there was some, I believe there were some plane mishaps. Everybody's fine, but it just, what I heard
Delays
was,
and such
yeah,
and
it was
great
just
things.
yeah, just bad delays and everything. And so there will be more Griddle Champions coming up, but at the moment there wasn't this morning. So I'll go ahead and say what the weekend buffs are because they should be live right now.
Yeah.
Now, if
Now.
not soon.
Now,
So
soon.
this weekend is the Sailor's Warning weekend, with powered up Merylwyn, Jarlaxle, Minsk, Rust, and Prudence. So you can get those powered up champions in the game right now. Get yourself a lighthouse chest.
Lighthouse chest is so dang cute.
Oh yeah, it's so good. It's so
I love
good.
the art.
Yeah, and since on Wednesday there were some new Witchlight adventures that came out, so 2 new adventures and 2 new variants. If you're having trouble getting through those new adventures and variants in Wild Beyond the Witchlight, this weekend might be a good time for you. And I have now talked so long that V has not only fixed everything, but is just like, okay, we're done. Let's go.
No,
Let's go.
I'm fending off my familiar right now.
Hi, Kitty.
I
will say one more
the
thing.
door cracked open.
Yeah, so it's a gorgeous day here in Seattle for the first time in a very long time. And so I have decided that despite the fact that it might not be the most, oh, there's a kitty. Hi,
There's
kitty.
Hemi.
Hi.
If I'm
gonna
saying
wave at the
something
cat.
he'll wave back. I mean, God, he's got the pause for it. Hi.
So V's got her cat, and I have an open window because I want to enjoy some sun and a breeze, and so I might not have the optimal lighting today. It's okay if I suddenly get a little overblown. I'm enjoying the sun. Thank you.
There we go.
So there we go. So you don't have to tell me, I know, but I needed the breeze and the sun today. I also need to get working on this
let's have some
horrible, epic thing.
I agree. And if you suddenly see a random ear or something popping onto the camera here, it's just Hemi helping.
Yep. One more thing, which I almost forgot. We have the lovely Martin in our chat as our moderator today. If you do have any questions for us about Idle Champions, about painting, about the gorgeous weather here in Seattle, go ahead and put that in the chat with question in big capital letters so that Martin can pass it along to our little backstage chat because, you know, sometimes I'm looking at a mini and not looking at chat, and that way we can get all that information. Martin says that the weather by him is also lovely. The first thing I did this morning was open a bunch of windows. Yes.
I played the same fling the windows open game myself, and it was beautiful.
Exactly. So everyone tell Martin how awesome he is, and let us get on with the Hellwasp.
Let's get the hell on with the Hellwasp. Kidding. Not really.
Let's get the Avernus on with the Hellwasp.
Which is where you can find them. So we already did a lot of the base work color on the body as well as some dry brush details. What we need to go back and do is wrap up what we have done on the stinger, the legs, and the antenna, because the body got some dry brushing. We're going to do a little bit more with that as well. But I'd like to get the legs done before we start doing the finer dry brushing details for this one. So last week we made a dark denim color combining the ultramarine blue with black and stonewall gray. What we're going to do today is take the ultramarine blue and the stonewall gray, which is basically a neutral gray and a classic blue for those who are playing the generic paint colors at home. And we're going to mix this together just to lighten up the ultramarine blue a touch. Once we do that, we will take a little speck of black and add that to the mix just to deepen the tone a little bit. But I don't want you to put a big old glob of black next to this because it'll start getting too dark too fast. So let me shift my palette over.
Yeah.
So I'm just using a couple dots of the ultramarine. If it comes out, there we go. And then I will do so it's like 2 parts ultramarine to 1 part stonewall gray.
Okay.
And then I'm going to mix that together.
That's the mixing music.
Yep. Not to be confused with other, theme songs. So you end up with like a periwinkle blue.
Oh yeah.
Which I will swatch so people can see at home.
You're very pretty.
It is a lovely color. So just a nice classic periwinkle blue. So now that we have that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take black and put a dot far away here, not next to the mix.
All right.
Just a glob of black because quite frankly, it's hard to get like little dips. And I'm going to take the mixing brush as it is and just put a little bit of black on the tip of my brush.
Okay.
Like so. And then mix it in to a section of this. So now it turns into a more weathered blue as opposed to a brighter blue.
I was wondering about this because I'm like, all right, we're going to take this blue, we're going to make it lighter, and then we're going to put black in here. So
it's not
I am
that it's
sure
making it, well, it darkens it a touch. It doesn't bring it down a full tone level. What it does is it mutes the color as opposed to the really bright blue against to the dark denim that we created would be very jarring. So this keeps it in a muted tone of blue, but lightens the color. If we had tried to mix this with the black dollop next to it, we'd be playing the back and forth game big time, which is why I wanted to set it up this way instead.
Yeah.
Because a little will go a long way. So once we get that established, then we want to go to our lovely dry brush. I am using the dry brush from Red Grass Games, which is literally just called Dry. But it's a fantastic dry brush.
Dry.
It's dry.
Dry.
But before I do that, let me just do a quick little comparison of what I just did with the colors so you can see the difference.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you at home as well.
And while you're doing that, I will quickly answer Ninehammer's question about did I miss Griddle Champions? No, you did not. Unfortunately, there was no Griddle Champions today because planes.
Yeah.
Everyone's okay.
Yes.
Just planes happened.
Just, planes and schedules and cancellations and delays and all the fun that goes into travel right now.
We're glad that you joined us here.
Thank
for
you.
The end of the Hellwasp. All right, what are we dry brushing here?
So we're going to dry brush the stinger, the legs, and the antenna. And I forgot as well, the spiky guys on the top of the head and along the back. So I'm just going to do a little dip into the paint color, remove excess on my paper towel. And then I'm actually going to hold this upside down so it's an easier angle to get. I'll start with a stinger and just bringing it across to bring out that texture a little bit more.
Yeah, because there's not much in the way, but there is kind of that
a couple of grooves that are happening.
Yeah, especially down the back of it.
Yep, the behind the scenes, right there. You can see it right there. As I start to get the lighter tone on, you can see there's actually some texture detail on the stinger.
Just a little bit, but just enough.
Do. So I'm going to do that.
Oh, yeah, and a little bit on the sides, too.
So stinger first. Just brings it out that much more. And then I'm going to take it up the legs. And this is also why we are absolutely waiting until we are done painting before we do any removal on the flight post.
Yeah.
So because this has elbows and such, I am going to be focusing on those curvatures in the legs to really bring out the bend in those. And there's a little separation between the segments.
Yeah, and we're just going to accidentally end up dry brushing the post. I can see it. I can see myself doing that already.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty much a given.
Yeah. But, when you got a lot of elbows. That's the worst children's book title ever. Well, when you have a lot of elbows.
You have a lot of elbows.
Monstrous compendium of elbows.
When you have a lot of elbows and it's time to clean your room.
No, I have so many socks. I have a sock and a sock and a sock and a sock. Don't you hate it when you have a set of socks and then you lose one and you only have 3 socks?
There you go.
I mean, I guess these are knees now. I guess I've classified these as knees. I'm okay.
Knees, elbows.
You know what? It's whatever it says they have because I'm not going to argue.
There you go. I did just use my thumb to sort of push down to get the upper portion of this one because it's so close to the mandible. And then let it go so I can get the rest of the leg. All right, Hemingway left me a furry gift. Hi! You're right there.
I haven't gotten to the so I got the legs,
The
and then
legs
antenna,
and
and
the
the little
antenna
spiky
and the
bits.
spiky bits on the head. Yep.
All right. Okay, all right, all right. And unlike the stinger, the antenna have
They
tons
have
and tons of
lots
that
of,
raised
yeah,
detail.
segments
Yeah.
going on there. The legs have a little bit more too in terms of where the segments are. The rest of it is a little bit more smooth, but you'll find as you work the brush along the ridge, that's really where that detail is going to pop out on the legs.
Yeah.
Where the segments are.
And then the spiky bits, are we trying to just get like the top?
Just work on getting the top portion of them, yeah.
Okay. And we're going all the way down the back.
Yeah,
The spiky
basically
bits.
we might actually switch over to a detail brush for along the back portion here, just to highlight it. You can definitely get the dry brush on the upper spikes of the head.
But yeah, going down the back, I'm like, oh, how?
Yeah, the back
okay.
I was gonna switch to a detail brush for those single spikes.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of them, and they're laying down, and
exactly.
they're hard to get to.
Yeah. So work up the antenna. 1 and 2.
Oh, geez. We have a song.
We have a song?
We apparently have a song. The Lurking Writer. It's time for Paint and Slay. Let's have some fun today. V is the crafting teacher, helping Lauren paint some creatures, lots of colors, and maybe some glazing. Just watch out for shouts of phrasing. And don't forget Helen. I've sung that wrong, but there you go. I thought I knew what the tune was, and I didn't halfway through.
What is the tune supposed to be?
I have no clue, but I am very impressed
that's lovely.
By the fact that we now have a theme
I'm
theme
happy
song.
about that. I'm sure Helen. Where's Helen? Oh, Helen's over there. Helen's still holding the die.
Helen is holding down the die fort.
Helen is very much trying to convince this wasp to give it the wings to her, I should say.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, everybody likes a fun wing.
I mean, who doesn't want a good wing?
Anyway, thank you, the Lurking Writer. I did not realize we needed a theme.
Yes.
A theme. I'm sorry, I've butchered your song.
Oh, it's the Muppet Show. It's time for Paint and Slay. Let's all have fun today.
That makes way more sense.
Yes, that's fun.
That does.
I like it. Yeah.
I do too. I'm not singing it again, though, because I've already embarrassed myself once today.
You didn't embarrass yourself. It was enthusiastic and well received.
Because what I've learned in my years and years as a performer is if you're going to go ahead and do something that's probably going to be a little bit embarrassing, do it with gusto.
Yep.
Just go ahead and lean into it, because that's the best.
So
that's the best way.
I'm now moving to my detail brush.
Ooh, tiny.
And then I'm just going to use that. And I'm actually going to take the edge of the brush. I'm not going to approach it with painting it. I'm going to use the edge of the brush and run it parallel.
Yeah.
To the curvature. Just like that. Quick little running edge.
So you're looking to get the top of them,
not all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the top of the point, but the back as it's curved down.
Yep. Exactly. So it starts to do that with them.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm finishing up here on the top, and I will be joining you.
Excellent.
I realized I missed a leg.
It happens. There are a few legs.
Yes, there's quite a few of them.
It's leg day.
There was only 4 of them, and somehow I missed. Somehow I only did 3, so there you go.
I mean, it's not like the carrion crawler.
That's true.
That was a leggy friendo.
That was a lot of legs.
Yeah. That was a ZZ Top song.
Carrion crawler's got legs, and she knows how to use all of them to murder me.
I like the little.
All right, where's my tiny? Where'd my tiny detail brush go? There it is. There we go. Hi, Tina. That's so small. So small. So
It's
small.
a bitty.
Beastly Meat, you are welcome to ask any
Yes.
questions you have about Idle Champions. And if we can't answer it, then probably someone in chat can. But yeah, we are here not just for painting, but also for your Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms needs. So feel free to ask away. And welcome. We may be focusing on painting the creatures that go into the game, but
Yeah,
well, we can also answer some questions
We can
about the game
multitask.
itself. I mean, we get to the point where all you're doing, and I say all you're doing like it's easy. All you're doing is like,
Oops.
running a brush along the
Bloop.
back of some spines and spikies and
Yep. It's a bloop technique. We'll give it a name. We'll bloop.
Bloop. And you'll know if we're at the point where we can't talk because
we won't talk.
There won't be talking. It'll be like, sorry, folks, talk amongst
one
yourselves.
Second, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The tides, etc., etc.
Go talk amongst yourselves. Talk about how everybody wants to listen to Bon Jovi now that they've watched the most recent episode of Ms. Marvel, and I am kind of okay with that. I'm okay. I mean, Bon Jovi was a thing when I was growing up.
I don't know. For me, like being in Jersey, I'm over Jovi. I know that probably revokes my Jersey status. I didn't really have one to begin with, but sometimes Bon Jovi, you can definitely hear enough of Bon Jovi.
Yeah, you can absolutely overdo even the most awesome of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what? It happens with everything anyone loves. There can be too much of it, too much food, too much of a song, too much of an artist. You can even, and I know this sounds strange, you can even have too much D&D.
This is true.
I know that sounds weird. But sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder, even with Bon Jovi. That's a sentence I wasn't expecting to say today, but I'm okay with it.
Hey, you never know. Yeah. All right, so that takes care of little nubbly bits of the spikes going down the back.
I think.
Therefore,
I've got my spikes. I think therefore I got spikes. Spiky. I'm just looking because I'm sure I've missed some spikes, but that's okay. Some of these spikes will just be darker than others.
There you go. Yeah, I'm liking that. I like. Now, where did that brush go?
Where are you, little brush?
Well, that's not such a little brush. That's the 5. No, I want a 3 or a 2. A 2 of the rounds. Well, that's my 3. I can work with the 3. I'm gonna move on to this one.
I'm gonna stop because I'm at the point where I think if I keep going, I'm just gonna start painting the spikes instead of giving the nice little line.
Yes. So. Yeah. Step away. So while that dries, we're gonna go down to the base now, and you're gonna want to get Beastie Brown. And in that place where I made my little puddle of black, that could be a cool new band name. I'm gonna put a couple drops of the Beastie Brown next to it to make a darker brown.
All right.
So we can get the soil going. And I did 2 drops of the Beastie Brown next to my 1 drop of black. And I'm going to get my mixing brush and mix those together and then paint it onto the base.
All right. And thanks to Beastly Meat's question, I also forgot that this weekend is a free time gate weekend.
Oh, fun.
That makes even more sense. Yes, you will have a lot of people who will be asking, hey, here are my 3 suggestions for, my free time gates. What should I go with?
Yes.
So yeah, if anybody's in chat and wants to throw them out there, you will get many, many good suggestions from the people in chat. We'll go ahead and give you our suggestions. I will preface all those suggestions by saying there's no wrong answer because eventually you're going to want them all. You're going to want all the champions.
Yeah.
But if you've got to make a choice right now, let's see. I'm stuck in a pickle. My time gate consists of Stokey, Cathris, and Orkira, all champions that seem very good. Oh dear, you're asking me this? I'm currently working on to unlock Split the Party. I'm in need of slots 1 and 4, which they consist of. However, next event gives a slot 1 champion. Should I focus on the short term or on the long term in this case? Oof. both of those are going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to preface this by saying you're asking me, and I'm going to tell you get or Kira. And if you don't know why, well, the people in chat will tell you why.
Yes.
I might be a little bit biased. Yeah, so people in chat are saying J-Dog says yeah, or Kira just was in an event a couple of weeks ago, so she's not going to come around again for a very long time. The next event is slots 3, 6, and 7. Yeah, the people in chat are also saying Orkira because they know what I like. But I think they're also saying Orkira for actual good reasons.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Once again, I don't think there's a wrong answer here, but get Orkira. And I'm sorry, I'm now will go back to the base.
Because we're all about that base.
Yeah.
About that base.
But yes, especially for slot 1, Orkira is pretty beastie brown, as we might say. So yeah, and I'm sure there will be. I see you also talked about. There's a page on Reddit. I can see the next event details. Yes, our community on Reddit and the Discord, discord.gg/idle champions. They are absolutely excellent in helping out and making suggestions and keeping track of all of the events and what's coming up. And, if you ever have a question, especially, at a time and where there isn't a stream going on and you're like, I need some help with this. Those are absolutely excellent resources to go to. So definitely check them out. But yes, now that I remember that this is a free time gate weekend, I'm sure the chat will be filled with this.
I always enjoy it, though.
Yeah.
Bring it. Okay, young lady, sit down.
Yes.
Sorry. I have another cat. I'm reminding myself why I keep the door closed, regardless of what's going on in terms of the heat of the room. Because my cats are very curious. They're cute, don't get me wrong. No, pain is not sniffable. Stop it.
I mean, it's sniffable. The problem is then it turns into licking, and then it turns into
running around the house, and it gets nose prints everywhere. I am not at all speaking from experience.
Oh, they're the kind of sniffers who need to put their nose in the thing they're
paint.
sniffing.
Yes, it becomes not finger painting, but nose painting.
Yeah, that's bad.
She's trying to cute her way out of this right now.
Oh, TC Shocker says my time gate is Deacon, Viconia, and Rosie.
Oh, I like the
Deacon is amazing and is not going to come up in another event because Deacon is an old enough champion that we are past them showing up in events, and having a really good bard buffer in slot 1 is super fun. Viconia is a newer champion and is also really good as kind of a different type of buffer. And I love using her and then having her do the raise dead thing and then just filling the screen with all the monsters that she now controls. Yes. Is super fun. So I think I'd go for one of those two, and then the decision of which one might come down to who do you need in a slot or what kind of buffer are you looking for. But I go for Deacon or Viconia, and then if I had to choose without knowing anything else, I say Deacon because Doom.
That's true. I forgot that part.
Because I love Deacon so much. But I also want all the kobolds in my game as well, so collecting all the kobolds is always fun.
You're getting a little glimpse of her whiskers right at the top of her wee nose.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Lord.
All good streams have technical difficulties and or a cat.
And we've already had the technical difficulties with the sound just suddenly getting wiped from OBS. I had to redo my settings, so there's that. And now we have cats.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people have been having some issues with OBS in the last week, and I have not yet, and I feel like I need to be extra careful.
Yeah.
Because it will be my time soon.
It's usually one of those things, an update comes down the line, and for some reason it resets something.
Yeah.
Inevitably with an update, I always grimace when I see an update coming through. I'm like, oh, something's going to shift around, and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. The joys of behind the stream production, everyone.
Yeah, but it's good to keep on top of those dates because they often include really good
Things that help,
upgrades. They
yeah.
often include a lot of really important security measures, things like that. So
Yeah.
it's a pain, but it's worth
It's a
it.
pain. It's just do it after you have your stream scheduled. Wait until
Yeah,
after.
it's hard. That's where it's hard to remember though. Is like, hey,
Yes,
I've
I
got a stream
know.
tomorrow, so I should do this today, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow, and you go, well,
Well,
poopy.
crud.
Mhm. Banana Mobster says, is Dadius any good? He's the only option of the three I don't have. If he's the only option of the three that you don't have, then absolutely, because
Yeah.
once again, deep roster. Um, Dadius, I find, is really good in very specific circumstances, especially when it comes to some of the adventure variants that require certain buffs and certain like intelligence levels, because he buffs. He's like this interesting buffer DPS, and I mostly use him as a buffer to make other people stronger. So yeah, he is. I know I'm explaining this badly, but
No,
I'm trying to get
I'm just enjoying every time you say buff. I'm like buff, buff,
buff. I've been working out. I've been
Work out, yo.
I'm getting there.
Camera's too crap.
But yes, my initial thought is it doesn't matter if he's good or bad. Get him because he's the only option that you don't have. But also, I think he is incredibly useful.
True.
Anyway, I
Anyways.
have my base done.
Excellent. So while the base dries, we're now going to go back to the bug. Back to the bug.
Back to the bug.
And we're going to do just a little bit of a lighter dry brush to bring out just that much more texture that is on the body. So in this case, we will take some Stonewall Gray. And again, oh, young lady, you better not do what I think you're about to do. Excuse me.
I know she's talking to the cat. But every once in a while, I think she's talking to me.
Yeah. So
I feel both glee and also fear, because V is both wonderful and also terrifying as she's got the mom voice down.
I have the mom and the teacher voice. Here, I'll just slightly adjust so we can get a little bit of a Rory cam going here. This is Rory here, everyone.
Hi, Rory.
She's my little Tabaco. So we're going to put that dollop of Stonewall Gray, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my dead white and put that away from the gray. That was not intended to rhyme. It's just how it worked out, folks.
Yeah.
And I will take a little bit of the dead white and mix it in with the Stonewall Gray to lighten the Stonewall Gray just a little bit.
Okay.
Lighten and brighten it a bit.
Now, how light are we going?
Not too terribly light. You probably want to bring it up a couple levels so it is more of a like aged ivory.
Okay. Let me add a little bit more in there.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that's what I want. There we go.
So here's a question that I think I've asked before, but I'll ask it again now, because the color that we're going for, I could see being achieved in two different ways. Adding white to the gray or adding gray to the white.
Yes.
Is there a reason you do one versus the other?
Yes, because if I want it closer to the gray, I add the white to the gray. If I want it closer to the white, I add the gray to the white.
That makes sense.
It's basically where your levels want to end up. So once we do that, we're going to go back to our dry brush.
Mm-hmm.
I see you thinking there, young lady. I see you thinking. Yeah, Lurking Rider's picking it up too.
Yep.
Nose is getting close to sniffing the paint.
Yep. We're watching you, cat.
I see you. So we're going to dry brush this, and we're going to take this over the entire body, even where we have just done the other dry brushing.
Okay.
But you're going to keep it very light-handed. You don't want to be heavy-handed with this one at all. You want this to glide along the details. And I actually just did a quick little test on my skin to make sure it wasn't too loaded. And of course, I'm so pale right now you can't see, but there is a little bit. There is a little bit of paint there. So yeah. I'm going to start to pull this up, even on the stinger.
Okay.
And just very lightly, ever so lightly. Like I am feathering
all over
this,
the body.
All over the body. Although you do want to avoid the yellowed orange accents.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Just getting kind of close to them, that area between the abs and the side of the thorax.
Exactly.
That sounded like I knew what I was talking about.
I think you do know what you're talking about there.
I mean, maybe, but that I'm actually pretty impressed with myself that I was able to
Yay!
abs and thorax out of nowhere.
Oh, is she falling asleep? She's falling asleep. Okay. Shh,
Okay,
Kitty's
perfect.
sleeping. This
Nobody
became
wake the cat.
far more
Shh.
interactive than I thought it would today.
Nobody wake the cat.
Don't wake the baby. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. She has a little
Nope.
a little pineapple bow. If people are wondering what that yellow flash was.
No, it's good to know because I totally thought, oh, did she already get herself into paint?
No, she has a little bow on her collar, which you can see right there.
Aw.
She takes a page from Dr. B.
And has
Little bow
excellent
ties.
style.
Yeah, she has little bow ties on her collars.
And are we doing anything? I mean, I know we're coming up to the head, and I do want to get some of the stuff around the
Yes,
head, but
yeah, a
what
little
about
bit.
like the spikes and stuff?
Yeah, you can do, if you're going to do the spikes, float it along the very top of the spikes.
Okay.
You don't want to get it too low down, but you can get the very tips.
How about those antenna or what we did with the
you can do the
other
antenna
blue?
too at this point as well.
Mm.
Again, very lightly.
The joys of multi-layer dry brushing.
I'm going to do it around the mandibles, the face area. Not necessarily on the mandibles themselves, but on the brows. Where are you going?
Oh, yeah.
Put your tail in my paint. Stretching, and she was like, I'm going to turn.
Mm-hmm. I feel like chat now this has turned into a double kind of show. You know, people are here to, it's a triple show. People are here to watch painting, to ask about their time gates and idle champions questions, and see what happens with the cat.
Yes, now we're in Kitty Watch.
Yep, Kitty Watch 2022.
Oh,
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Why not?
Me too.
As long as Kitty Watch does not include Kitty putting...
Kitty and painting watch.
Yeah. Last thing we need is you having to run off because Kitty has decided to put paws and claws into your paint.
Oh, God. I mean, she has run off with painted minis before.
That makes sense to me.
She is
that are still
dragon.
fresh?
Not fresh, but she likes to hide and collect things. I'm convinced she's a dragon in disguise, quite frankly. She has actually picked up one of those little velvet pouches with a set of dice in it. Green dice with gold lettering, or numbering, I should say. Not that I was paying attention at all to what was in the bag. She picked that up, she looked at me, and she ran away, and she hid it in the basement. I have no idea where it went. But that's how she operates.
That was the game. That was the game. She was deciding to play.
Look what I can do.
Yep. Follow me.
Okay, so this brought out some more of the details, just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which I wanted. Because we are going to get a Vorsion.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm liking
that. We've got Peter Panda HJI says Corazon, Evelyn, or Rosie. I don't have Corazon or Rosie. Maybe we'll just grab Rosie since my slot 10 only has 4 champs right now. Yeah. Once again, like getting that deep roster, even if they are champions that you're not as interested in for whatever reason, having that deep roster is really, really important because remember, you can now have 4 parties going at the same time. And Strahd has a lot of people he does not want to use. Yeah. So get yourself as many champions as possible because eventually you're going to want to do Strahd patron challenges and Strahd is nasty.
Strahd's very picky.
He's super picky.
But he has his preferences. He's got a type. That is absolutely for sure. There is a type for Strahd.
You're much better at that Strahd than I am. Although
that's
are
Nika.
You? Yeah, I was about to say, is that Voronika or is that?
Yeah, that's Voronika. Voronika has thoughts about Strahd. They've had interactions and discussions together, but he's definitely got a type.
Yeah. And I'm not just saying that like to have fun. Literally the number of champions that are available for Strahd challenges are way lower than everybody else. Yeah. So all right. So we are next
back to the base. Back to the basics. I had to. So take that goblin green And I'm
Goblin
going
green.
to add it next to that brown we just made up. Or mixed up, I should say. We didn't make it up. We mixed it up. And we're going to add some goblin green to that mix of brown. And then we're going to overbrush the base, which is a heavier dry brushing technique. So it's going to make this muddy, swampy brown.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought would be kind of appropriate with these Hellwasps.
Yeah, I mean, either you want to do the very cliche in Avernus, but I kind of like the muddy swamp, icky.
I just kind of see it's like sort of like an acidy green incorporated into things.
Ooh, yeah.
So we're gonna take that color, which I'll do a little swatch. So you see, it's like this mucky green brown.
Yeah.
And then with your dry brush, you are going to put some paint onto the brush. You're not going to remove as much as you would for dry brushing. So I'm going to look and just blot it more than anything else. And then start pulling it across the texture. And you'll see it coats just a little bit more than if you were just doing a dry brush on it.
Okay.
So it's okay to get some color onto it. You want it to kind of be
middle ground between painting and dry brushing.
Yep, exactly. You don't want it to fully cover the previous color. You want some of that brown peeking through. But you're not being as light-handed as you would be with a dry brush.
I'm doing what when I was first learning how to dry brush. Like, this is what I was doing, which was almost painting.
Yes.
But now I have learned.
Yep.
And now this is an advanced technique, which I'm not really, I mean, I'm making fun of myself a little bit, but also that is literally a thing in a lot of the arts in where you spend your entire, you spend your life learning how to not do something because most of the time you don't want to do it.
Right.
And then every once in a while it becomes this extended technique that you pull out.
Then you're told, wait, but you can do it in this situation and it's okay.
Yeah. But we want this. We want this here. It happens in music quite a lot. I spent decades learning how to play in a certain way and not do certain things. And then I started to learn about modern music that required modern techniques. And it's like, do this.
Wait.
I've trained myself out of doing that. Wait.
You mean to tell me?
Yeah. That's always fun. Okay.
Playing. It's cute.
Yeah, so, school's out. And this window is, it's not to anywhere where the kids are playing, but very close by to where the fire lane is. And that leads to a big grassy area that the kids play. And so it bounces. And so I often am hearing the children play.
I think it's great. Okay, so
they're good kids. The kids around here, they're loud and they scream like kids do, but
that's kids.
They're doing normal kid stuff.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
They're having fun. It's a good thing.
And they're having fun they're not being jerks. I was in an apartment complex once where the kids would play in the trash and it was like, no, please don't.
No.
These are just kids who are actually playing. And so every once in a while it's like, hey, listen, if they're having fun, I can close a window if I need to.
See, I have a neighbor with a daughter who will literally stand outside and scream bloody murder. Like the kind that scares you on purpose. Just because she can. And she knows it terrifies people. And it's just,
I'll hear those screams, but it's almost always that they're playing tag or something.
Oh, yeah. No, this is like middle of the driveway, just stands there screaming, and she'll do it like 5 times in a row. And the parent's like, what's going on? She goes, I wanted your attention, or something like that. Like she'll say, like, I was trying to get your attention. It's like, walk inside.
but the door is right there.
but
all right.
So
I
now
have a muddy brown.
So we're gonna let that muddy brown, that swampy muddy brown dry, and we're gonna go back to the wings. And
Yay.
we're going to do some more dry brushing of the wings. And like you and I talked about beforehand, in this case, we want to kind of hint towards an iridescence to the wings. Just like most insects have that little glisten to their wings,
Yeah.
we're going to try and give the wings this by adding a dry brush of silver. But when we do this, we want to make this very light-handed. You don't want to paint the wings silver. That's not the intent. The intent is really just to get those higher ridges and textures that are on these wings and just kind of give it a shimmering effect in that case. So we'll take silver. And if you want a little extra insurance on this, you can actually move up to a bigger brush for your dry brushing on this one. So I'm going to jump up. Where did I put it? I had this next to me this whole time. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, you had been asking me about it, and I only have a little bit bigger, but
so
yeah.
I'm jumping up a little bit so you can see the difference in size here.
Mm.
And then I will use this with the silver dry brush technique on the wings.
And having it be silver also helps because the silver is also
it's
already a very light thing.
Exactly.
And all over the wings, or are we focusing on just like the black veiny bits?
All over the wings.
All
so
right.
just these, you're probably going to like this because it's those long sweeping strokes that you enjoy when you go painting your minis. And you want to make sure it's running. You see how we have these grooves that go up and down on the wing? So I'm going to pull, in this case, yes, I am pulling perpendicular to that line.
Okay.
While keeping the brush parallel. Haha. But just lightly start pulling this. And it'll bring out those details a little bit more.
Yeah, just a little bit of shimmer.
But give it this fun little iridescent quality.
I mean, just because you're a Hellwasp doesn't mean that you can't have, a little bit of shimmer.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be fancy.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna
Man, I knew the silver was super light, but I've forgotten until just now how light it actually is. Like how see-through it actually is, especially when you're dry brushing it, like extra see-through.
Yeah. But that gives it this pretty little glistening effect.
Oh yeah.
In different lights.
And both sides, all four wings?
I'm gonna do one side, let it dry, and as I move across, then I'll flip it back over and go to the other side.
That's a good idea.
Handle that.
Yeah, one wing at a time.
Yep, one wing, one side.
Yeah.
And then flip.
That makes sense.
One wing, one side.
And we've got some more questions about which I'm sure people in chat have already given awesome suggestions to, but hey, these are fun. Fantastic Tanuki. I have Birdsong, Nearest, and Omen for Time Gate's thoughts. Ooh, all three of those are real good.
Yeah.
Do you need DPS or a buffer or gold? Because Birdsong is one of my top DPS. I think she's awesome. I also use her a lot with the entire Heroes of the Plains, which is probably why she's one of my top DPS. But like, I think she is just a stellar DPS. So if you need more DPS, go for her. Omen has a lot of flexibility because you can put him in a lot of different places, and depending on how you spec out his specializations, he can work in a lot of different places, and he's a really good buffer, and it's nice to have a buffer who is flexible that way. And Nearest, I just like plunking on into any formation where I just need someone, it doesn't matter where they go, who can buff my DPS. So, go have fun with their spiritual weapon and get their spiritual weapon on the DPS and have lots of fun. So yeah, do you want all three are really good, but it depends. Do you want a DPS or a buffer, and do you need a specific type of buff, or are you looking for gold? Fine, that kind of thing. Of the three, I'd probably go Birdsong without knowing anything else about what you're doing, because top tier DPS like that are harder to get than really good buffers. But your mileage may vary. And Devil Crayon says, ooh, tough choice. They've got Krond, Averin, Black Viper, all new. Ooh. I'm gonna have to say Averin is a super strong buffer, and Yeah. Yeah, you're going to want to go Averin pretty solidly, I think. Black Viper is lots of fun, and she can be a really strong DPS, but you do have to put time into her. Now, I got her back when she came out, so I've maxed out her gems and everything, so she is a really good DPS for me. But as far as who's going to help you right away, and Krond is kind of the same way. Krond can be really powerful, but you're going to have to put some time and effort into. Averin right away is going to be incredibly useful, so go for Averin. Pick 6 and 1 asks, so are time gates different for each user? Yes. So what the game tries to do when it's giving you the 3 for the free time gates, it's trying to give you at least one champion you don't currently have. So it'll be different for everybody, obviously, because what you have is different from everybody else. But it tries to do that, and then it gives you 2 other random ones. So it will try to help you get champions you don't have access to. But it is different for everybody. I actually needed a little more silver. I gave myself too little.
Well, there we go. But yeah, you can see the difference this makes. Just sort of enhance the texture in the wings.
Oh, yeah.
And make it more bug-like.
Yeah, that shimmery... that shimmery feel for sure.
Yeah.
Peter Panda JL says, next event starts Wednesday at noon, right? That is correct. Yep. The new events almost always start at noon on Wednesdays, and they run for the rest of that week, and then the full week after until Monday. So you get just over a week and a half for each event. And usually on the Friday before the event starts is when the information about the new champion that will be available in that event goes up.
Which, we did today.
Yay! Which I am excited about.
Me too. Okay, so I have all of my wings.
Oh, I'm still working.
Dusted.
Wow.
See, this to me is always such a game changer when you want to add that little hint of glimmer. It's amazing what you can do with light silver and light gold.
Yeah, the couple of times that we've used this silver before, it's almost been annoying because it's so light.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's actually coming in super, super handy. It helps. Oh, I got silver all over me. Oh, well.
Do I get the wings?
I don't know, Helen. Do you need a little bit of wing help?
Yes.
Would you like some wings?
Yes.
All right, we'll work on some wings for you, Helen.
I got wings.
No stealing the Hellwasp wings. You get your own wings. No, you can't have the Hellwasp wings. You get your own wings, young lady.
Get your own wings. Oh my god.
Oh, I laughed and I was a little too heavy-handed with that silver.
Oopsie.
Oh well. That part of the wing is just going to shimmer a little bit more.
You might be able to take a damp, clean brush and just lightly brush.
Yeah, I think I'll
Thank
give it
you
a
for
try.
keeping your promise, Lurking Writer.
Let's just take off.
You promised they wouldn't tell Helen things about things you were discussing on social media. So there we go.
Oh yes. All right.
Okay, so those are the wings.
I am done.
We're gonna let
Those
the
are the
wings dry.
wings.
Now we're gonna go back to the base. We're doing a lot of shuffle around. This happens a lot with those larger minis with different details. Now we're gonna go to Goblin Green.
Okay.
And we will dry brush the base with Goblin Green.
Just straight out Goblin Green.
Straight up Goblin Green. And this will be a fun accent color because it's a brighter tone of green. So it'll kind of give some visual interest both with your orange and my purple.
Yeah.
So that'll be kind of a neat little thing. And I'm going to switch back to the standard dry brush from Redgrass Games that I have. And again, I want to make sure it's pulled so it's not coating.
Yeah, because this is now we're actually back to
now we're back to
actual dry brushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is where I want to go lightly and just bring out the texture in this ground cover.
Because there is a lot.
There is. There really is. So this is going to start giving it almost like a mossy rock look.
And let's see. Yeah, Devil Crayon says, is asking, speaking of modern music tangentially, have you been enjoying threatening music notation Twitters? You know what? I don't follow that account,
It's
and that's
hysterical.
not, it's hysterical. And the reason I don't follow it is because I apparently follow a lot of other people who follow it who just retweet the heck out of it.
Yeah.
And I kind of need that in small doses because I learned a while ago with Mozart in the Jungle that there is only so much I can take before I get too serious about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, and it almost happened the other day because I saw the book. It's an alphabet book that uses the orchestra, and the title of the alphabet book is A is for oboe. Now I know as a musician and as an oboist what they were going for. And I understand the joke and the reference.
Yes.
And so it was like, I also understand, hey, that probably isn't a good idea because no one is going to understand unless they're also a musician and an oboist.
Right.
So I had that moment and where I'm like, this should just be funny, but I'm being but it's actually musician. So. But yeah, I do like every once in a while seeing those retweets of threatening music notation. Some of it also that they do tweet is very obviously a joke. Like there's a lot of PDQ Bach that ends up in there.
Yeah.
Which is also fun, but is like, but that's not real. So I don't want to be that person.
Right.
I want to let people have their fun. So yeah, I don't currently follow them because I get just enough with the retweeting of all of my friends. And every once in a while, someone's like, Lauren, you need to look at this.
Hey, we have something for, hey.
Yeah. And then I get to pull out the Barrio sequence and go, listen, I've seen it all. Pick6-1 says, thanks for the help. I got Deacon, Baloth, Walnut as my first time gate. Any suggestions? And also, where do you find upcoming events? So where you find upcoming events is go to our Discord, discord.gg/idlechampions.
Drink.
Aww.
I drink, but I don't want to.
Also on our, yeah, nope, that's okay. I'll drink for both of us. You can also find on the subreddits. There's a whole list. There's also a wiki. I don't remember if it's a fandom wiki or I don't remember which wiki it is because there's like 12 of them now. But they're all listed out there. And because it's the same events in order every single time, that doesn't change. Every once in a while, we have to skip. It's not that we skip an event or a week. It's just to make our calendar and the Faerun calendar. Yeah. Instead of there being 1 week in between events, there'll be 2 weeks or something like that. But the order of events is always the same. Yeah. And as for Deacon Baloth and Walnut, I'm going to say Baloth. Yeah. I'm going to say Baloth because Baloth is a super good buffer. Also, Owlbear Baloth. But yeah, I'd go Baloth. If not Baloth, then it depends on, do you need a tank or do you need a bard? Do you need a buff or do you need a tank? If you need a bard, go for Deacon. If you need a tank, go for Walnut because both of those are good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the base.
Yeah, mine is. Yeah. I'm doing my best with my camera. Here we go.
But it helps highlight those details and you get like this mossy rock effect, which I think is kind of fun to do. Just to change it up a little bit from the classic, because Helen, put the die down. Helen has the classic stone work base. So it's kind of nice to have different bases every so often just to change the look up and give some visual interest to your mini display. So you can see how that just kind of gives it a different feel. That way.
Especially with these minis and where the base is big enough that you don't have to attach it to the black the black circle. This one
came with a clear circle because WizKids is upgrading to clear, so your terrain will show through when you put it down on your table.
Yeah, yeah. But I also like displaying mine, and so having a slightly smaller footprint has been lovely. All right, what's next?
So now I'm actually going to cap my palette because I think we're pretty much done with the painting part, and now we're getting into the cleanup and assembly part.
Ooh.
Yes. So I'm going to move my palette.
I will not cap anything because I am on a paper plate.
Yes. If you have a paper plate, you can just set it to the side, and that way, if you realize as you're going through things you do touch-up work, it's there and available for you. But in this case, we are going to do some cleanup now on the flight stand. Because we did have some issues where just a little bit of paint got on, and that's going to happen, especially with minis that are assembled like this. Sometimes the minis will be off the flight stand, and you don't have to worry about that until after the fact.
Yeah.
But in this case, I do have some blue that I want to remove from my clear flight stand. And did I tell you to grab the Mod
I've got a little purple. To grab the what? I'm sorry?
Did I tell you to grab the gloss Mod Podge?
No, but I've got it right here.
Excellent. Okay. I put mine within arm's reach on my side, and then I forgot about it. We're going to want that after we do this. I'll show you why. So the first thing you're going to want is rubbing alcohol. In this case, anything 70% up will do the job. And in fact, I tend to like to drift towards 70% when I am doing this, because it'll help if for some reason I get this somewhere where there's paint I don't want to have removed. I can quickly just, blow on the mini and dry off the alcohol, rubbing alcohol, not the alcohol. And that way it won't remove the paint. But the lower 70% will still work. The 90% is great for stripping minis. Absolutely.
Oof.
Yeah. You can still use it. It's just take care when you're doing it. So what I'm going to do is you're going to want to pour a little bit into your cap. Like so. It's not going to show up because... So now I have rubbing alcohol in my bottle cap.
I did the same thing, and I was just like, nope.
Can't
this is a clear liquid. Can't show it.
So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to take a clean brush, just a standard clean brush. I have this one that I'm going to use, and I will dip it into the rubbing alcohol and blot my brush off a little bit on the edge of the cap, and then go into where I see that there is paint and brush it onto that spot. And what'll happen is it will remove the paint. And it takes a little bit of coaxing.
Which is okay, because that way, if once again, if you brush on a place you don't want to brush, then it's not as much of a, you've brushed once in a place you don't want to brush, and now the whole mini is gone.
And then I'm going to move to my cotton swab, also known as a Q-tip, and just rub it along the stand where I just had the rubbing alcohol to help remove the excess. And it also helps pull some of the paint that's left on the stand. So that's basically what you want to do. You just kind of go back over, hit those points you want to get the paint off, and slowly but surely, and then alternate between brush and Q-tip to wipe away.
And I've gone ahead and grabbed one of my tiny brushes, because most of the stuff I want to get at is like under the, it's going to be hard to show on my mini, but like under the thorax right here, which a Q-tip is going to have problems getting at.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not going for 100% getting rid of everything. If I could just clean it up a little bit, I'll be happy, because most of the close-up stuff, it's like, I would rather just be a little careful and not remove paint off the mini.
That is completely fair. But yeah, if you use the 90%, you will definitely see the results almost instantaneously. But because this is so close to details that I don't really want to futz with too much, I drop it down to the 70%.
Yeah. It still comes off really quick.
It does, yeah.
Doesn't take much.
No.
To get on in there and do a little bit of scrubbing and be like, oh, there we go. It's gone.
Away it goes.
Yeah, and I got a little bit of yellow. I'm not as concerned personally about like either the purple or the brown, because I feel like that blends just enough into everything that it's not as noticeable, but I got a splotch of yellow on here that I'm glad I can get rid of. Go away.
Yeah, I have some underneath that I want to get rid of as well. And I have a little bit here at the base where my green got a little carried away.
Yeah, I got to do that too.
That'll actually just almost push it down towards, to remove this, I'll push it down towards the base itself. And that'll help bring it down.
Oh, it happened.
What happened?
That quiet moment
Uh-huh.
where everybody's quiet.
Because we're concentrating.
Yeah. I'm trying not to. I'm pretty happy with how these abs worked out. So I don't want to ruin my abs.
No. You worked for those abs, dang it.
I did. No, if only getting real abs were as easy.
I mean, technically there are people who paint their abs.
Yeah, that is true. But they tend to be people who are going to be on camera.
I know, I'm just saying.
And have an excuse to. All right. I feel like if I do any more, I'm pretty happy with how close I got here.
Yeah, I'm getting that point. I have this one stubborn. I think there is a flaw in my stand. So there's this bit of paint that I think is just deep-seated in a seam.
Oh.
Because everything else is pulled off, and this one's kind of like, no, I like it here.
But how about no?
How about no? So that removes the majority of what's been irritating me.
Yeah.
So we're going to let that dry just a little bit. And then I have a specific bottle of rubbing alcohol, so half the time I just tend to pour it back in.
Whereas mine is not just for painting.
Yeah, so then do not do that. Do not recycle it.
I've poured mine into one of my water cups, and that will get poured somewhere else because I can't get rubbing alcohol or paint on my oboe. That would be bad. Yeah, because that's the other thing I use this for.
Okay, so now
going
to
alcohol.
the Mod Podge Gloss. This is actually an important little trick we're going to do here. So I'm just going to gently shake the bottle because you do want to shake this up. This is not your classic Mod Podge that you get to do decoupage and things like that. This is Mod Podge Ultra. It is a different formula than standard Mod Podge. However, it is fantastic for sealing miniatures and everything like that. But it's also great for when you have these flight stands to really kind of mask them and disguise them that much more. When you take a high gloss varnish of some sort or another, it helps mask the stand that much more because the light reflects as opposed to absorbs. So I'm just going to open up the top. I literally dipped a brush in there. And I'm going to paint this onto this flight stand. And you can see it takes it from an opaque to kind of more clear and glossy. Which the camera doesn't always pick it up in the webcam, but
but I can clearly see.
You can see the difference when you're painting it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to paint the entire stand with this gloss.
Wow, that is surprisingly
Isn't that incredible? Wow, that just kind of
holy cow.
Yeah. It makes a difference, believe it or not.
Yeah, because like looking at it, I'm going, you know what? This is a pretty clear stand. Yeah, there's a couple of like, cloudy bits in it. And then just this light.
Yep.
I don't know how to show this off, especially with my camera. It'll probably show up on yours, but holy mackerel, that is amazing.
Yeah, it really does make a difference. This is something I like to do with all the stands if possible. Again, you can wait until you have a few to paint and just do a whole row together, but that'll dry more glossy and you won't have the fuzzing out that happens if you don't treat it with the gloss. And it's totally a preference thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you accidentally get it somewhere, then it's
clear.
It's clear and it just makes a leg maybe a little shiny. It's not like some of the other stuff that we do, but holy, like, I don't know if you can see the difference on my camera, but I can absolutely immediately see the difference.
It makes a difference. It really does.
It's like shining a window.
Yeah, it really is. All right, so we want that to dry. And then, let me see here. Are the wings? Can we get away with the wings? We might be able to.
All right.
So I'm also going to apply this to the wings.
Ooh, okay.
Same thing. You can always, actually, let me do a little shuffling. Every day I'm shuffling.
The whole wing?
Whole wing.
Okay.
Except keep it away from the attachment point.
Okay.
So, and again, I would recommend doing this one side, then the other side.
Yeah. I learned that the hard way last time.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it will stick. But now you get the iridescence, but you also get a fun little shine to your wings.
All right.
But
Oh,
this
and
is-
meanwhile, Little Kittens has asked for time gates. Should you just go to area 50 and reset, or go on till higher? So for time gates, if all you're interested in is getting those first couple of chests from the first couple of adventures there, I think those are 50, 75, and 100, or they'll change depending on how often you've done that specific time gate. So if you're talking about the free plays, yeah, you can just go to 50 if you want. If you would like to give it a try, or if every once in a while I'll just do some restarts there and get some more favor that I can then dump into one of my main campaigns. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of people who probably say just do the adventures and then you can stop there because you'll get those gold chests, and that's kind of the main point. But it depends if you're also looking for a little bit of a favor bump.
Yeah. What did I do with
Also, some of those events, some of those time gates when you open them up have a formation. They're all unique formations, and they'll have a formation that might be one that, hey, this formation is going to be really good for pushing here, or for trying this thing out, or something like that. So often you'll see people who will open up a time gate and then they'll use that free play to like, oh, this is a free play. This is a formation where I know I can get to a new place in my wall just because of the champions that I have. So there's lots of stuff you can do with time gates.
Yeah.
Oof, and now my wings look all shiny and really
Yes.
creepy.
Yeah.
Creepy.
It's a fun touch. And it's just a very light coating. You don't have to go heavy-handed with this at all.
Yeah.
Just a very light coating will do what you need it to do here.
Which is good because I know that this stuff also takes a while to fully dry.
Yeah, you want it to cure for at least a day or so, if you can.
To cure.
Mm.
I don't know why I find that amusing. It doesn't dry, it cures.
It cures.
Mm.
Not to be confused with The Cure. Even though it is Friday, I'm in love.
Okay.
And whoop.
Yeah, this probably shows up better on my face cam because you don't necessarily have to see the detail as much as just
The shine.
the way it shines now.
Shiny.
Oof. Also, I'm glad that I have the window open because that's a scent.
Yeah, I think I've grown used to it.
I was doing okay until just now. I don't know why. It's not bad, but I'm kind of glad.
It's very kindergarten paste reminiscent.
Yeah. It's not bad. But
It's not awful.
it definitely has that overtone in, you know, the smell of gas.
Mhm.
How it's like, this isn't unpleasant, but something about my body instinctually knows I shouldn't breathe a lot of this.
Don't take a deep breath of that. Yeah.
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 I'm getting that with the Mod Podge.
It very much will have that effect on you for sure. Okay.
So yeah, I'm glad I got the window open.
Yay!
All right.
So now, you know that disc we were talking about?
Yes.
In this case, you do want this disc because of the wingspan that this has. It will help to have that little extra flat support. So I'm going to take this off of my little perch.
I gotta find it. Oh no.
Oh no. You can even, if you have a black one floating around too.
Oh yeah, I know. So I didn't get the clear one. I ended up with a black one.
Oh, okay. And if you have tack that's left on the bottom of your vase, you just take the tack itself and it self-removes that way.
Yeah.
See? Ta-da.
There
you go.
There it is.
Okay. I'm gonna, for my own sanity. See? It just blots up.
Hey.
Hey. Here we go.
Fortunately, I have my stuff fairly well organized, so I was able to find it.
Oh, good. So you want that, and you'll want your super glue.
Super glue.
Super glue.
Got it.
Very important when you do your super glue, regardless of brand, stay away from the gel. I know it is very tempting because the gel kind of gives you a faster adhesion. However, it is a weaker connection and it is not as long lasting, as I have found out the hard way on some older minis that I have painted and used that gel. Something about the chemical composition of the gel is different than the traditional liquid super glue. And I find it's just not as secure for miniatures. So what you want to do is you want to take your super glue, which hopefully, did mine dry up? Oh, that would be very bad. Nope, now I see it. I see it. It's just, remind me to buy more. So I'm
Note
going
to self.
Yeah.
Hey, chat. In about 45 minutes, I need you to remind V that when she gets off the air, she needs to buy more super glue.
Go buy super glue. So I'm just going to put some super glue on my base here. Yeah, I am getting...
And it doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't, unless your bottle is almost empty. Yeah, my bottle's getting there. Okay, so I have super glue on the bottom. I'm going to give it just a couple breaths of air to start activating it, because it does need a little bit of air to activate the glue. And then I'm going to gently place it onto the base and position it where I want it. And now, let's leave it alone for a couple minutes. Because here's the thing. If you keep nudging it and nudging it and nudging it, you are going to weaken your bond. So you can put a little pressure down, press down on top a little bit, gently, and then just sort of nudge it away. And we will let that...
Stay over there.
Yeah. And you can stay over there and hang out to dry. And while we let things kind of hang out for a little bit, do we want to talk about maybe next week?
Ooh,
Should we talk about next week?
Yeah, I got to grab the thing that's on the floor.
Okay, grab the thing that's on the floor, because next week we're going to have a little bit of fun. As you've all been chatting about, Nahara will be in-game on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific. We are very excited for this, to have the next member of the Black Dice Society join our roster of champions. However, we get to have a little bit more fun when it comes to Nahara, because joining us next week and the week after, we are going to have Nora Ibrahim here to paint along with us, and we're going to be painting something from WizKids that's a little bit different than the standard minis. And this is the Chimera Paint Night Kit. Now, if any of you have followed me in the past, you know I used to do the Paint Night events for WizKids. These kits are fantastic because they come with pretty much everything you need in the box itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to take next week, July 1st, and the week after that, July 8th, to paint the Chimera Paint Night Kit from WizKids. Now, you will be able to go to your friendly local game store and see if they have these kits available for you. If it's not at your friendly local game store, you can always go to wizkids.com and get more information and see if there's a store near you that might offer to ship. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what is in the box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
I mean, we had to. We had to. Yeah.
So I will show you what is in the box, because some of you who are more experienced painters may have the paints already or may have the supplies already. So when you get the box, you're going to find there's all this stuff. And I have taken this apart because I've already done my paint notes on this one. So it's been, pulled apart on my side. But when you open it up, it's all nicely packaged like Lauren was showing with hers. But let me show you what comes in these kits once you happily disassemble what's in the box. So you will find in the box itself the mini. Okay, so this is the Chimera Mini. However, this Chimera Mini is also sold as an individual SKU. So if you want to pick this up, I'm going to direct you to go to our Discord. Okay, check out the Discord. And
Discord.gg/idlechampions.
And you will be able to find the particular SKU number for this one. I want to say it was like 09464, something like that. But I wrote that a couple days ago, so my brain's kind of like, maybe not. But
the fact that you even remember the number is amazing to me, because numbers just go out of my head.
So if you want to get a hold of the mini itself, you can purchase this separately. I believe it'll probably be in the $14.99 price range for the Chimera miniature. And this is the D&D Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures line. Keep that in mind. So this will be the mini. And with that mini will come the base. And as you can see, it too has a flight stand, but I like what they have done here. They have kept the two separate. so that we can paint the base, paint the Chimera, and then we'll put the two together later on. So you'll get the base and you'll get this, and this comes both in the kit and if you buy the mini individually. In the kit, you will also get all of these paint colors. And again, go to the Discord if you want to paint along with us, but you don't want to get the paint kit itself. You want to use your own paints and just use the mini. These are the paints that we're going to be using from the kit. They are still Vallejo paints. They come in these fun little paint pots. Okay, so we'll be working with cork brown, pale sand, old rose, basic skin tone, green gray, German camouflage beige World War II. That one's the mouthful. So essentially you have tan, ivory, salmon pink, peach, medium gray, and this one is a dark beige. Okay, I'm giving you some generic paint colors for those of you at home who don't want to necessarily get the kit itself, but have the paints, etc. And don't have Vallejo paints. That's the other thing. And then there's another sleeve of these in which you have white, black, your classics, dark vermilion, which is basically a cherry red, burnt red, which is more of a Merlot red, okay, or a deeper red, chocolate brown, which lives up to its name. It's like a milk chocolate brown, and orange brown, which is a nice rusty brown. Okay, so you get all 12 colors in the kit. The kit will also give you 2 brushes. You have a multi-purpose and a fine detail brush. I am going to include a little caveat here. Make sure you also have a number 2 or 3 round brush as well as a flat dry brush. You'll find that kind of helps enhance what you'll be able to do painting wise. However, you can still work directly from the 2 brushes you have in the kit. I just find having the extra brushes help with the painting process. The kit itself, this blister, will act as a mixing palette for you. And you also get these fun little water cups. So you can fill this up with water and you have a rinsing cup. You can also use the well here. So you know how I like to have water for thinning and water for rinsing? You can fill this up with water for thinning and fill this up for water for rinsing. So really the kits are all inclusive.
And I have a couple of these kits and I've held on specifically to this thing because it's a pretty nicely sealed little thing, and I found it's perfect for the tacky stuff that I use when I put my mini on a base in order to hold on to it. These are perfect to put the tack in later so you can reuse it.
Exactly. So that is what we are going to be doing with the Chimera Paint Night kit from WizKids, as well as painting with Nora, who will be our guest painter for the next 2 weeks on Paint and Slay, as part of the way to celebrate Nahara coming to Idle Champions on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific. So that is the Paint Night kit. Again, check out wizkids.com for more information. And hopefully you can join us and really paint along. It'll be a lot of fun. If you want more information about the other paints and whatnot, Discord it.
Yep, I will be posting in the Discord this afternoon with all that information that we just talked about. So that way, if you can't get the Paint Night kit and want to follow along, then most of the stuff you already have. If you've bought the basic supplies that we talk about, the brushes and the paints, it'll all work. You just got to get the mini.
It will, exactly. And you can mix a lot of these colors with the paints that we already have established. So Alice, it's too soon to tell me about the super glue because I'm literally staring at the super glue. So my brain's going to like, yeah, there's super glue right there. That's how I function. Someone catch me at 3 hours from now. Don't forget the super glue.
But thank you. Thank you for remembering.
Thank you so much. Okay, so now we're going to go back to, speaking of the super glue, and dear God, hoping I have enough, we're going to start assembling the wings.
All right, here we go.
This is where the fun starts. Now, these wings, they technically have little shapes at the nubbin ends. So you can go in, and there's also the numbers here. The L1.
I got an L1.
Yeah, which I think is...
which I'm assuming is left one.
Yes.
And I got R1, right one. Now,
I think that's right.
For those of us who are
see?
From the stage, when they talk about left and right, are they talking about left?
Yeah, it's left if it's facing you.
Okay.
So our right is it's left. So left one will go in that. Now always test fit before you go to glue, which is why I just did this one first. So I did the test fit there. I'm actually going to move my wings and try and get a glob. I'm doing this because my super glue is almost gone. I'm going to try and get a glob of super glue so I can dip. Yeah, this super glue has seen better days.
And if we're looking at it head on, the bigger ones are in the back.
The bigger ones go in the front, and the little ones go in the back.
Front.
So, having it face you, I'm going to dip my wing nubbin into my puddle of glue. That's the alternate band.
My nubbin to my... Yep.
I usually do a couple breaths on the glue before insertion. And then I'm going to fit it into there. And we're just going to let that live there for a little bit. Put a little bit of pressure. You don't want to wiggle. If you can help it, don't do the wiggle wiggle, because the wiggle wiggle loosens.
Now, for if people can't see the little left one, right one that's on there, because these wings have like a smoother side and a more textured side. Is the more textured side on the outside or on the inside?
It looks like the more textured side is, I'm going to say on the inside for this one.
Okay.
So that gets your first one going. And now I'm going to go to the next big wing. And also, for me, because I have older emptying out glue, I'm going to dip it in to my puddle of glue. But you can just take a little drop of super glue. And I shall do the same thing. Insert into the opening. Give it a little bit of pressure without wiggle. This is not the time for wiggle, 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 wiggle. No.
I'm still trying to make sure that I've got the right wing on the right side.
Yeah. So if it's looking at you, Lauren, you want your L1 where your right hand would be.
Yeah.
And your R1 is where your left hand would be.
Left. Yeah.
And it's at the two front posts on the back.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
I was just having a moment in where it wasn't. I was testing it out beforehand. I'm like, I can't get this in.
What's wrong? So now I'm gonna find my L2, which for some reason it shows up when I hold it upside down better. So go to the L2. Same thing. I will dip in my glue. And then I'm going to insert that carefully next to the other wing. And a little bit of pressure. It gets a little precarious because now we're stacking close to each other.
Yeah.
There's not much of breathing room between those. But the smaller wings are going to go inside the wings. So like, my thumbs are the little wings and the rest of my fingers are the big wings. They kind of want to rest inside of each other like that. And I'm going to do the same with that last wing.
Stay, wings, stay.
Oh, won't you stay wing me?
Okay. I got my bigger ones and I'm kind of giving it a minute before I start to jockey the smaller ones in there.
Let those live happily and quietly and let them dry a little bit more.
Let them quietly live out their lives.
Let them set a little bit. So what I may do while this is setting, just so you know, I can still be productive. Like, I'm going to grab no, that's the Chimera. Let me move this. I forgot I put that on top of my supplies.
That's all right. I'm still inserting wings.
That's okay. Yeah, I can look back there. I'm going to grab my Agrax and I'm
doing the insert of wings in the same way, like when you tell people to measure twice and cut once. I am inserting wings. I'm being extra careful about wing insertion twice.
Fair. That is
because once I put these in here, I don't want to have to pull them out.
No, you really don't. I'm just going to go to my Agrax and I'm going to dip one of my 3s in there and I'm just going to apply it to the base. Since I can do that from above without having to move anything. This is how I multitask minis. How can I paint and not nudge things too much? And
I'm on my last
a
wing.
minute or two it'll set. Do you want to get this on here? Just to kind of enhance the details on the base, just a touch more. And since we use the browns and the green, I find that Agrax is a great mix. You could also, if you wanted to use, what's it called?
Oh, there they are.
There they are. The
is so
Anthonian
big.
Camo Shade is another good one to use on bases that have green involved.
All right, I'm gonna put this down before the wings decide. Nope, I don't want to stay up anymore.
Bye.
I'm gonna give it a couple of minutes. I'll look back. If anyone has any questions, I will get
There
to
we
your
go. Let's look at
questions
the questions.
shortly. Yeah, because yeah, I'm definitely of the opinion I don't want to touch anything because I
That's
have
fair.
had those moments in where I think it's dry and good, and then I've actually had minis in where I thought they were good, and then I went to pick them up and they fell off the base,
Oh,
and I'm like,
no.
well, I did not wait long enough on that, did I?
That's fair.
I'm just gonna go.
I'm just gonna go over here now, thanks.
Lurking Rider says, some people are allergic or badly affected by the odors of some paints. Do you know of any low odor paints that you would recommend?
Honestly, no, that has not become a priority for many paint makers in the model industry. I will say in terms of what I have found generally, Vallejo tends to be the lowest odor emitter in my paint collections, as well as my craft paints from Plaid. In fact, some of my craft paints from Plaid almost smell pretty. It's a very interesting mix. Let me tell you, it's interesting when you open up one of the things and it's labeled like cotton candy or something and it has a sweet smell to it. You're like, this is disturbing my senses. I know I shouldn't be eating this, but it smells like I should be able to eat this. Not even kidding. But yeah, there's really nothing I can shoot off the top of my head. I'm like, oh yeah, they purposely make this with an intent to. However, if someone has heard of a smaller paint company that I may not be aware of, by all means, I'll recommend them in the chat because quite frankly, I'd be interested to find out too.
Yeah. And I will say one of the reasons that I smelled the Mod Podge so clearly, and then also, specifically that was because I do find these paints, they do have an odor, but I almost never smell them when we're actually painting. So they are really low scent, but I also do not have a sensitivity to that. So your mileage may vary. I would recommend, if you are someone who's like, all right, I'll give this a try and we'll see, definitely have windows open and, be in a well-ventilated area.
Ventilation is always a good thing when painting. I have stayed far away from that particular pledge. Evil turnip. Yes. That's looking great. So that is my letting the wings dry.
Yeah.
And the other thing I'm going to explore doing once the wings are dry, a little hesitant to do it still because I can still see some gloss on the glue. I'm going to go back in and you can see how with my wings, they have the reddish purplish combination. But if you look at this buggy friend right here underneath the tip of my brush, the handle, it has more of a plum look to it. So that's something I've been mentally factoring in. So what I want to do is I'm going to go in with the Carroburg Crimson Wash, and I'm going to apply that to the body area, keeping it off of the legs and the antenna and the stinger, so I can get that plum color. And then I will go in and I will do a Nuln oil on the antenna and the legs and the stinger to round off the wash on this body. For Lauren's, because Lauren has the fantastic fiery tones happening, Lauren can go straight to doing a full Nuln oil wash on the body and the antenna and the legs and the stinger. However, when we both do this, we want to make sure we're avoiding the yellows, because then what we can do is once everything else is dry, we can go back in with, and this is honestly one of my favorite washes because it's just so darn pretty. We're going to go back in with the Cassandora Yellow, which is what Lauren used on her wings. We will use that to highlight the eyes, the edges of the mandible, as well as the abdominal features that are the bright orangey tones. So that's kind of my game plan with the washes. And let me see here.
And for those of us who might have, spilled all their Nuln oil.
Yeah, you can mix a nice black wash with your own paint, which is basically black paint with clean water, and create something of like a broth-like consistency. And you can use that as your own homemade black wash. Hold on, I was talking and chatting. I'm going to put on some of this Carroburg on the thorax area. So people
and also
can
pulled
see
out
this.
the Drakenhof Nightshade. Did I pull that out for a specific reason?
In case you wanted to give it more of a bluish tone instead of a blackish tone.
Oh.
That is your call. So I'm just going to go and apply this so people can see what I'm talking about.
I may go for the bluish, yeah.
Yeah. So again, I'm going to apply this to the major portion of the body. I'm going to avoid getting it too close to the yellow areas. and on the legs. And I'm going to use smaller motions here as opposed to big sweeping streaking motions because, again, I want it to be more controlled application.
And now I'm going to try to do this without hitting the wings on my light.
Oh, yeah, that's a fun little game to play. Now you know what it's like when I'm trying to, like, battle the camera.
Because I've been so used to holding on to this mini, and it's a certain height, and now it's a much bigger height.
Yep, now it has increased. Carefully apply this Kerberg. Well, Lauren will mix up a Nuln and apply that to pretty much everywhere but where there's yellow. This is how it'll work out for Lauren.
Everywhere except the yellow. Yeah.
It all sounds like a poem. Everywhere except the yellow.
See, now usually when I'm doing washes, I'm having tons of fun because I'm just like, wash! And now I got these
now
wings.
Now you have to do careful.
I'm like, oh God, wings. Please don't come loose.
Yeah.
Please do not. I think they're probably okay
if
at
they're
this
not
point.
falling out at this point, and I just wouldn't shake the mini.
Yeah.
Don't rattle it.
No sudden movements on the mini.
Right? Exactly. There we go.
And of course, trying to avoid the yellow, trying to avoid the base, trying to avoid all the stuff, all this hard work that we've done. This is definitely the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely the most careful I've needed to be with a wash ever.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad thing, but it is definitely a different experience.
Yeah, it just changes the approach method a little bit.
Yeah. And then are we going to do a wash on the base, or at this point we've done...
I did a wash of Agrax on the base while you were doing your wings. So that you can always go back and do when you feel more comfortable doing that. So it's just the Agrax Earthshade, which is basically a brown wash.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
So I'm avoiding where I have most of the yellow on the mandibles. I will take this wash down a little bit, but not fully down the mandibles. Okay, so you can see how now it has that more of a plum tone to it because of the Kerberg. I love how washes can shift tones just ever so slightly.
Yeah.
He's fun. Okay, so I'm going to put my Kerberg away, and I will pull out my Nuln, which again is basically just a black wash. Rinse my brush between the applications.
Yeah, we've definitely gotten into this is the quiet time of doing the painting.
This is the concentration time of painting.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to apply it to the stinger. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Remember where my camera is. Reason why I didn't want to do the Kerberg on mine for the stinger and the legs, it would turn lavender. That's not the effect I want.
Oh,
so that's why I switched to the Nuln oil for those, because I really do want them to have more of that bluish, blackish tone, not to go pretty lavender.
Yeah. Commander Meerkat is asking if this is part 3 or the first 2 parts on YouTube. Yes. You can go to our YouTube. I was just checking, so go to the C&E YouTube, and the first 2 parts should be there. If not, I will check again, but I was just looking at everything. But you can definitely find the first 2 parts, and this will be up on YouTube shortly.
Nice.
Yeah, it takes a little bit sometimes to get stuff up there, but yes, you can now. Also, the final part of the young green dragon was missing for a little bit, but that has been found and placed, and now you can catch up on the green dragon. Yeah.
I luckily recorded that.
Okay, I have the body done.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember at this point.
Did you do the antenna?
So I haven't, yeah, I've done the antenna. I haven't done any of the yellow bits, any of the
yellow
bright bits.
Yeah, that we're going to
Okay.
get to in just a hot minute because I'm almost done
Okay.
too. Okay, so now I've got the black wash, the Nuln Oil on the antenna, legs, and outer portions of the antenna, legs, stinger. That's what I want. That's what I want. And now we're going to shift to Cassandra yellow. I am also going to move to a smaller brush. I've been using a 3. I'm going to jump this down to like maybe I might even do a detail brush, to be honest. I do a 10/30.
There we go. And if someone doesn't have this wash, what would they mix up in order to make it?
Do some yellow with just a touch of orange because it's a bright sunny yellow. Pardon me. I had a hiccup.
Okay.
Where's my smaller? Here we go. I'll do my 2/0. Wink. So it's just a little bit of a smaller one. And this we will put on the inside of the mandibles, on the eyeballs, and on the abdomen.
All right.
And this is where I have so much fun when it comes to Karaberg. Because now those mandibles are going to get a really fun effect.
Yeah, because we've done a lot of really fine detail on those mandibles.
Yeah.
So this is going to be fun.
Same thing. Get it on the eyes.
I have never had to dot a wash before, but I feel like that's what I'm going to be doing here.
You do want to stipple it on. For sure.
Poke, poke, poke,
Isn't that
poke.
fun? Look at that. It's amazing what a difference just a little extra touch of the wash can do.
I'll say it again. Wash is magical.
Mm-hmm. And again, I'm just going to brush it across the ab area.
All right, let's show off those abs.
Quite literally.
I mean, our bug put in all of that work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't hit the wings. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Turning the bug upside down. I'm like, oh no,
Right?
oh no, wings, wings, wings.
You don't want to wing it in this case.
Ah. I'd slow clap for you, but I'm very
Your hands are
carefully holding my.
occupied.
They're very, very occupied.
And that is really the last of it, believe it or not.
Whew.
Outside of
We did it.
let these dry, and then you can go in. Reason why we're able to seal coat the wings is because the wings are pretty much good to go. Once that silver dried, we weren't waiting on a wash to dry. I do want the wash to dry on the rest of this before I go back in with a matte Mod Podge, and I not gloss it up, and I glaze it with the Mod Podge to give it that nice seal coat on it. But you can see, actually, I'm gonna lift my camera out just a little bit more because you've already gotten a little bit behind the scenes anyways. Here we go. So that gives you, it's so tall with these wings, but here we have the Hellwasp all set and done. And we'll definitely get pictures up on social media for you because Lauren did take the warmer tone approach. Lauren did what's over here that I'm awkwardly pointing to, this one. She did more of like a fiery wing look. I went more for like the amethysty plum combination. So we got to have a little fun with these.
I went for, this is a Hellwasp. Let's get some red on there. Let's get some orange. Let's have all the bright colors.
Yeah.
So, but they both look amazing. I love
the
purple wings are just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a fun way to kind of play around. And it's also helpful if you go to play these on your table. If you paint them different colors like that, for your players, it actually becomes a heck of a lot easier for them to say, like, I attack the purple one, I attack the yellow one. As opposed to I attack and you're like, which one? Just a little tip that comes from having painted many a mini. But yeah. That is all said and done.
Yay!
Which I think this is the first we've had like a full assembly run like this, which is fun to be able to do.
Especially with the base, because usually that's our one homework assignment is doing the base. So, but we decided to go, I'm not gonna say slow, but we gave this wasp plenty of time so that we knew we were gonna end, a tiny bit early because it was better to, especially with so many of the light touches on this, like the silver on the wings, like the multiple dry brushing, like just having the time to do that, and then in between let it dry.
Yes.
which didn't take too long.
No.
It wasn't like we were sitting around for,
Oh,
20,
no.
30 minutes. It
No,
was
it's just
it was super
enough.
quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm
But
happy with
yeah.
how it came out. I love it.
Yeah, me
He's
too.
kitty. Your wings look so great. I can tell from the camera right there. Yay!
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think both these wings look amazing. So
Yeah.
I'm super happy.
Me too. I'm glad we got to do
Yeah.
this one. All right, so then don't forget, next week we have a
Chimera.
special guest painter with us for the Chimera
Yay.
Paint Night Kit from WizKids. Again, this is something you will find on your friendly local game store. Check it out. Go to wizkids.com to get more information. I want to say it's in their events tab. Yeah, scroll over to the right-hand side. There should be something that's marked events, and then you click on that and go down, and that should hopefully pop up for you. And you can get more information, and Nora is going to be joining us because Nahara, our lovely
Yay!
Nahara from Black Die Society, is going to be in game next week on Wednesday, which I'm really, really looking forward to that as well. So some
Yeah.
fun things. And y'all have been playing your Timegate weekend and chatting with us about that, which has been so much fun. Look, chat's like super glue. I'm telling you, don't tell me while I'm literally looking at the super glue. It's not going to register.
That is my fault. I did ask chat. Just before we ended to remind you about the super glue. So thank you, chat.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
chat.
you.
Someone tweet me. Someone tweet me in 2 hours.
Be like, V, super glue.
And I'm
Yes.
like, oh, that's right.
And if you do want to find out more about Nahara, the Champion Spotlight should be up on our website, and you can read about all the awesome things that she can do. Also, Kitty. Meow.
Seja.
The little kitty is so adorable.
We had cats hanging out with us today too, so why not?
Yeah. After us is Garwar, who's going to do a guide to everything.
Yeah.
It's been, I think it's just us and Garwar
I
on
think
this
so
week.
today, yeah.
Yeah, and then Garwar will be back tomorrow.
Mhm.
So if you do have any further questions about time gates or about any of the stuff that happened earlier in the week, like the Witchlight adventures that just came out, Garwar will be there to help. And then let me grab my drink. Definitely come by our Discord, discord.gg/idlechampions, where if you want to join us for any of these painting adventures, now, hold on, I'll drink. All of the information is there. Yeah. All the information is there. I will be putting up the information for the Chimera paint kit basically right after this. Both how to get the paint kit, and then also if you just want to use your paints and paint along and just get the mini, you can do that too. It's going to have all the fun. It's fun to see all the names for some of the paints that we don't normally use, because I've gotten so used to the Vallejo set that we've been using.
Yeah.
And every once in a while you would, when you were rattling off those paints that are in the kit, and I'm like, wait, what?
What?
Oh,
No?
yeah.
What?
So
I mean, to be
yeah.
honest, I like chocolate brown better than beastie brown. I do have brown preferences, so I'm excited we get to break that one out. Oh, and it looks like we have the new game plus is happening after Garwar. I just saw that. I forgot that was a thing that was happening because what is time? Oh my gosh.
Sorry, Sean. Yes, New Game Plus for those of you who are new to the game. New Game Plus is the show for you. Sean has started over a fresh game from the beginning, and we'll be doing that on a regular basis. So playing for a little while, getting through the tutorial, getting through the opening sections of the game, showing people who are just beginning the different avenues to go and the different ways that you can unlock things, and then resetting and restarting every once in a while. So and I know new Devil Crayon's like new game plus new show plus same Sean plus. So yes, and I know there's going to be a couple of different new game pluses happening throughout the week. Yeah, because we have a lot of new players who are joining us. So thank you for joining us. V, thank you very much for all of your lovely assistance.
You're very welcome. Thank you for keeping me company.
Yay! And thank you to Martin for being our moderator for the show. We appreciate you. We appreciate all of the questions that came in from chat. And we appreciate you, Helen.
Bye!
Bye!
Bye, everyone.